As said, my name is Tim Rhue. I'm here from NASA's Universe of Learning. And just as NASA's Universe of Learning is one piece of Science Activation Collective, Viewspace is one piece of what we're doing within NASA's Universe of Learning. It's one of the building blocks to communicate what's going on with the world beyond our solar system and educate people about that throughout the country. So we really are, with Viewspace, focused on improving US scientific literacy. And it has been developed to meet the needs of museums and other informal education community and the lifelong learners who use these sites. And we've also been expanding into learners outside of those institutional settings over these past 2 years. This is meant to be an entry experience that grabs people's attention and gets them interested in the world of astronomy through beautiful imagery. We're trying to pull in people who don't have experience in astrophysics with a hook that's going to engage them and pull them in and encourage them to explore some of these concepts in more depth. But we're not trying to make experts out of anyone with Viewspace in particular. So there's a whole pyramid of resources that can help facilitate that goal, and Viewspace is just one of those stones at the bottom of that large pyramid. So I know many of you have seen Viewspace in the past. I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction for those of you who are new here, and I'll be pointing out some of the newer pieces of Viewspace as well that have been developed that may be able to help with the work that you're doing as well. As we're going through this, I do want you to imagine yourself as a member of our audience. Perhaps you're a 13-year-old girl who has just heard about some of the worlds beyond our solar system from their teacher, and she's exploring some stuff at home online. Or maybe you're a photographer who's fresh out of art school, who's spending some nights waiting tables, and saw a post on social media that pulled in and had some really cool pictures, and you're wondering what those are. Maybe you're just or maybe you're an elderly grandmother with your grandkids visiting your local science center. You don't have any particular interest in space yourself, but your kids are asking you some questions as they see this kiosk, and there's something going on there. So within Viewspace, and I will note, this is all browser-based now. We were hearing about some of the advantages of that earlier, but that's true here in Viewspace as well. But imagine you come up to this kiosk and you see this image, and there's this little glowing thing down here, and you start to play with it and look at what's going on. And you can see yourself, you can see this object changing in some ways. We're actually looking at this object in visible light and X-ray light, and then a few different types all combined in this multi-wavelength view. So the interactors with the Viewspace are going to help us look at some of these objects in new ways, and we're going to take a look at a few of these here. So we are trying to tell a story. We're trying to help people make connections and draw them through. So this is one of the intro pieces that you'll get to right away. And you can see this firefighter in a room full of smoke, and not much else is going on that's visible. But as you pull the little slider across, you can see a view in a completely different type of light. Looking at this space in infrared light, we can see a person there who needs to be rescued, an actor in this case. But this is a story that people are it's easy for them to connect with. They can get a sense of what's going on based on their own personal experiences. And it helps get across the idea that different types of lights are going to convey different types of information. And that's something that's very important when we're looking at different pieces of our universe. So I'm just going to pull up another piece here and give you a sense of how that works in the universe. So here's this object, kind of looks like there's some sort of explosion there. We can see it's talking about variable stars here. And as we pull this across, we can see all sorts of different views of this object. Now, if you imagine yourself as, you imagine a dad standing in a science museum trying to describe what's going on for their kids. Being one myself, I know that dads standing in museums are very, very knowledgeable. They know pretty much everything about everything in there, whether they do or not. So we've got all of these little pieces integrated into this that's going to help that person, or whoever it might be, whether it's the girl or the grandma or the art student, get a sense of what's going on. So we can see there are some stars here and a dusty outburst. we can see as we go through that this section of the image is important, and it's evidence of some things going on. And there's some more information right below the image, this caption, which tells the story in words. We know that if we convey this story in both images and in words, the audience is going to take more about it. And we've got teams of educators and scientists that are making sure we're pulling out the relevant information. We're giving a good sense of what the important parts of the science are, and that we're conveying it in a way that the audience can grasp. We're using information that they can use and relate it to their own lives. Now, sorry, I said I was a dad. I've got stomping going around in my own house here. So there's also more stuff going on beyond just this. If you go down, there's a story in words for people who want to explore more. There's some quick information with some brief facts that are going to engage some people. And there's this explore more section, which is actually really important. This links people to other portions of the universe, of NASA's universe of learning. You can see some videos about variable stars. You can control a robotic telescope to look at a variable star. You can explore astrophysics and find images throughout the universe. Before I go to that real quick, I do want to show, we also have other examples. So you might go in and explore more. This one here is the 838 Monocerotis. And you can see how this one, we're not looking at it in different types of light. We're actually looking at different times. So this star has light that's coming out from it. And as it goes across, it's revealing more and more portions of this dust cloud that surrounds it. The dust isn't moving, but the light is revealing it. And that's what you'll go if you look at this in detail. However, if you're, say, a formal education teacher, if you're a teacher in the classroom, you're leading an event, you may want to turn off those labels and tell the story yourself, and you can do that and get the beauty of the image by itself. And as you go from piece to piece, whatever you're looking at, that'll persist. You can see all of these different ways to explore things. So I did want to go over briefly to the Viewspace videos. So we've been producing videos for years that have been playing as part of exhibits in museums and other informal education sites. And you can see we've got a number here that links to focused on variable stars, but there are many others as well. If we go to the base piece, there's all sorts of ways to interact with this information. And access this different content. And we're continually updating and making sure that we're showing the current science. So I didn't point out on the interactives portion, those interactives are broken into different segments, different content themes. And you can see those same themes here in the video library: history and origin of the universe, the life and death of stars, other solar systems, others. There's a few others on here as well. And NASA's Universal Learning has gone through and looked at astrophysics and identified where the different portions are that are important for people to grasp, so that we're providing content in all of these different areas so that people can grasp what's beyond our solar system. And you can explore those videos through here. There are news pieces. So we're putting out new content, again, showing the most recent science content, making sure that people have a way to know that science is not static. It's always changing. There are always new things going on. We focus mostly on the astrophysics, but if there are pieces in our solar system that are particularly big in the news, we want to make sure we provide those for people who are looking at here as well. So you can see galactic bulge, red dwarfs, some things about black holes with the Nobel Prize. But then also we do have water on the sunlit moon and touchdown on astrophysics.
1 minute warning.
All right, wonderful, thank you. But one piece that you may have noticed as well, there is some Earth content as well. We have an agreement with Earth observing systems to provide some Earth content so that we can use the same framework that Viewspace is built on to provide those pieces as well. If any of the Earthlings out there see some ways to work with some of this Viewspace content, that would be great to see as well. So the videos in the libraries both have been used in a number of different ways. In particular, we've worked with NiceNet with their Sun Earth Universe exhibit. The online portion used some of the Viewspace sliders. WGBH pulled some Viewspace videos for their work with Worldwide Telescope recently. We were able to provide versions of videos that they could use. We also provided images from some of the interactives for another purpose for WGBH. So we'd also love to know how you could be an ambassador for some of this content, how to grab people and pull them into this larger world of NASA science. You can use this as a physical display yourself. If you've got some other ideas though, how does this mesh with your work? How can this be an entry point into some of the things that you do? And as I mentioned, we do have some of that Earth content in the spirit of cross collaboration. We'd love to know what connections are that we can make there. So please reach out to me, Tim Rhue. You can also talk to anybody else at NASA's Universal Learning here this week. And let us know what some of your needs and what your audience needs are. Thank you.